angle, looking towards Odegaard. Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Good evening, one and all. Welcome to a Saturday without Rotherham United, which is not a good Saturday. It's not a good Saturday in terms of results, so we're going to have a quick 10-15 minutes just going through all the that affects us. The fact that Ben's chair, when he moves, is ridiculously loud. That doesn't help. But yeah, if you're new to this, welcome. Make sure you subscribe and follow. Subscribe to YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. And if you want to listen to the podcast, that's on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you can think there is a podcast, that's where you will find it. Michael and Ben are here. How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Fantastic. Before we go any further, we meant to mention it the other day. Obviously, we know we're in lockdown. I hope everybody's doing all right. Football has been really good to keep everybody occupied and to keep everybody's minds elsewhere. And we know football this week, I've certainly noticed Saturday being a bit more aimless than normal. So I hope everybody's doing all right in terms of that. And we'll get back to normal in a few weeks, hopefully. Well, normal-ish. We're going to start with the postponement. Then we're going to talk about Crooksy winning player of the month. And then we're going to finish with the Saturday results as they were, because there were a couple still playing before we clicked the record button. So the postponement, Mick, it was done. I'm sort of torn on this a little bit. It was done very, very early, but at the same time, what would have been the harm of waiting till 9 o'clock this morning?
Yeah, well, I suppose it is a fair question, really. It was very early, weren't it? But we've been. Well, it's between, you're caught between devil and deep blue sea, aren't you? Because we've postponed a couple of other games and been criticised for doing it too late. Now we're criticised for doing it too early. The weather forecast is such that there is no way that a ground that's been frozen for 2 or 3 days and frozen deep is going to thaw out. Bearing in mind, looking at the forecast, it was never going to go above zero the temperature, so it was never going to get played. Looking at the fallout from it, yeah, I am disappointed we didn't wait until 2:30 to call it off today. That would have been more fun. But, for me, it had to be off. I think it's the right decision. I don't know whether it benefits or otherwise. I suspect it probably doesn't, to be honest with you. In terms
you don't
of
think it does benefit us?
No, I don't know as it does.
QPR are in the form of the season right now, and that's not going to last. No. So I think they talked about it with Derby. If the Derby game would have got rearranged, it would have been sometime in April. So we're talking in 2 months' time, the chances are that QPR are not going to be in as good a form now as they are then. So from that point of view, you've got the potential that Chio's going to be back, or a probability in April that Chio will be back, and a slim possibility that Lindsay will be back.
Yeah, fair comment.
Okay. But then I suppose any time somebody else could break the leg, pull a hamstring, pull the calf, and then it could be middle of another injury crisis for all we know in April.
Yeah, precisely. Absolutely. It's 6 and 2 3s here. We've got a massive fixture congestion, and whichever way you look at it, we're not going to get out of that. So, but it was the right call. Definitely the right call for me.
Yeah, I agree. Ben, just say me used to what your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't see any way it could have been on. I know it's League 2, but only 2 games went ahead in League 2. There were 5 called off in League 1. I know pitches are bad. Obviously, it's lesser clubs, worse grounds, stuff like that. But it's been, I think, honestly, the coldest winter. I'm young. Coldest winter I can ever remember. These past few days, it's been like -3, -2, and it's ridiculous. I don't see any other way. Even if it were frozen yesterday, when it were 40 degrees today, it still wouldn't have melted. I think it would have been that cold. But I think it's good for us. It gives us a rest. I think they called it off yesterday because it's QPR, it's London. Probably would have stayed night. So I think that's probably why, and it gives us more notice.
If it were Wednesday or Derby, I suppose that's the reason.
Yeah, definitely. If you were like half an hour away, and they're not, I think QPR had probably stayed the night. That's why.
Yeah. Also, the snow on Tuesday wouldn't have helped either. The snow we had on Tuesday night whilst we were playing. In normal circumstances, if we wouldn't have played Tuesday, there wouldn't have been any snow off pitch because they would have been covered. It's had a pretty heavy snowfall Tuesday night. It's quick turnaround. We're getting all these games in such a short space of time. The ground staff, our pitch is the best, has been the best for years and years. Cut them some slack, I suppose. But if we'd have had under soil heating, apparently would have made a difference. Except Sheffield Wednesday do have under soil heating, and that didn't make a difference. But
they didn't turn it on, did they? They can't afford to turn it on. It's true, isn't it? It's true. They can't pay the players. They can't. There's no way on earth.
Allegedly,
on.
You have to say allegedly.
Do you? No. It seems to be pretty much accepted fact.
Yeah. Mick had a lot of fun on Twitter, didn't you, yesterday?
Oh, mate, I had the time of my life. I don't get out very much. I'm knocking on a bit. You know what I mean? My interpersonal skills aren't brilliant, so I don't have a lot of friends. So my lunchtime at work yesterday was probably one of the best lunchtimes I've had in a long time. I just spent most of it howling. It was just so funny. I'm sure we'll come on to it in a bit anyway. But yeah, it was great fun with social media yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
I heard you've got. Have you got a few examples? I heard you've got a few examples for later.
Well, I have, yeah. I thought what I'd do is we'd sort of put a few just on screen for people to have a read of it. If nobody's had a look at it, if you've not seen the social media stuff from yesterday, if you log onto Twitter and go to the Rotherham United announcement that the game was off, and then just have a couple of hours, because it'll take you a couple of hours, to be honest, scrolling down below at all the comments. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I've picked a few out on here, and it'll probably scroll through. It's absolute comedy gold. It really, genuinely is. It's amazing.
My personal favourite, which I don't think is on there, is that why do we not just unfreeze the pitch?
Yes.
That is just... Yeah, perfectly valid question, isn't it? Why do we not just take
It's ridiculous. I said this to someone. I can't remember I said this the other day, but what do you expect Roundman to stand there with air dryers on it all? What do you expect? It's -3, -2. I remember seeing the one of Charlie Wednesday fan saying that we're tin pot and for getting it called off, and then 2 minutes later theirs gets called off.
Brilliant.
Genuinely, it is one of the best lunchtimes I've ever had in the whole of my working career. I'll be perfectly honest with you. And I mean, the irony of it is that these clubs like QPR and the support. Let me rephrase that. Some of the supporters of these clubs, I don't know what it is, but they've got some sort of idea that they are really big, important clubs. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, I don't know.
I've just seen somewhere there, and about people saying that we water our pitch.
Yes.
What?
Oh, Wayne.
Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne. I did reply to Wayne because I felt that
it's on the next one. Wayne, this one.
Yeah.
We water the pitch at night on purpose to get out of playing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some people. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. And next time we get a game called off, I'm sure it'll be lots of fun as well. It's the 5th one this season, which is not ideal for us. It's too many. But at the same time, some of them have actually helped out in terms of the circumstances at the time and so on and so on. So we have actually benefited from it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on. That'll be re-scheduled for some time in April. I don't know. We obviously don't know when. But we'll keep an eye on that at some point. And there's also a possibility, I don't know if the rules allow to play this in the international break, is what I thought last night whilst laid in bed and couldn't sleep. We almost certainly won't have any international players, not unless Matt Crooks finds a Welsh auntie or something. or Smithy's got a cousin who's Scottish, something like that, the chance of us having an international break, having any players away for the international break is slim. I don't know what QPR's situation is or another team. We played obviously the Carabao Cup at the start of the season. We played that during the international break, so that would make sense to me. It depends how much the EFL want to get the games in, and I don't know if they're allowed. UEFA are quite strict about top-level games going ahead at times. So it'll be interesting to see that. But and I'm sure nobody's listening to that idea, but that is just an idea.
It's exceptional times, isn't it? It's exceptional times, and something's going to have to be done by some organisation or another to allow for the games to be played within the scheduled games to be played.
But it's fine because I'll just slip UEFA a fiver and they'll play whenever I want because you know what UEFA is.
That's
like.
true.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
We
could have a look around
it.
I'm just having a look at the fixture list now. There are 1, 2, 3. There are 3 spare midweeks available between now and the end of the season, not including the international break. For us, I think we played the least amount of games, or if not the least amount of games, not far off the least amount of games. So if we have another game, if we have another COVID outbreak, or another team has another COVID outbreak, that's going to start causing serious problems with fixture congestion. Because it's all right playing Saturday, Tuesday. I mean, I think that's doing it every week's a bit excessive, but exceptional times.
Yeah.
If let's say we have a 3 more and then a 4th game postponed, what are we going to do then? Because there will genuinely be nowhere to play those games.
Yeah.
Unless you played let's play Saturday, Monday, Friday, or something. Something stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know where they fit in.
Well, obviously it was going to rain this week, not heavy. But if for some reason torrential rains, right? And obviously, you know what we're like. We'll put some more water on the pitch so it can't dry. Let's say this midweek game gets called off, right? Because we're corrupt and we want more or less for our players. Then the EFL have done this to themselves because, like you said, Mick, they had no backup plan coming into it. It's the EFL's fault. They can't force us to play another Barnsley game. I think we should still have that game in hand.
We should, to be fair.
Should have played that. Just 3 points took off our thingy.
You're not over there yet, then, are you?
No, why should I be? Because if we go down by 2 points, and we've been scammed again. But
potentially,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. We'll keep an eye on that because at some point soon something may have to give. We should be out. Touch wood, touch everything wood. We should be out of the cold weather period now, in theory. But it weren't that long ago. We had really bad snow in March, were it? So we'll have to wait and see with that.
It weren't cold though, was it? It wasn't like -2, -1.
The beast from the east were March time, wasn't it?
I don't think it was really cold though. I can't remember.
Really cold. Yeah, really bad. But again, that was like a once in a X many years type thing, so it's unlikely to happen again. So we should be over the cold weather, hopefully.
It's the north of England though, so
yeah. But there's always the potential COVID issues and things like that. So there are issues which cause COVID, but touching everything would that we don't get any more rearrangements. On to much more positive news. Matt Crooks had a sublime January. 3 goals in how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 goals in 4 games. And just overall, Ben, a superb month ending with Player of the Month for the Championship.
Yeah, he deserved it. I think he had a poor start to the season. I think he had reasons for a poor start to the season. It's not a usual time. Obviously, he had his friend last year, so it's not going to be easy. Had some interest. I think you're probably dealing with a lot at the start of the season, a lot off the field.
I think also, sorry to interrupt, Ben, but he hadn't played any professional football for 6 months, and Crooks is the type of player, the more he plays, the better he gets. So I don't think that helps either.
Yeah, I don't that as well as I bet he must have had such a hard last year with everything that happened, and then the interest come, and it can turn someone's head if they're not in the right place, and he wasn't. So, but he's come back, played well. I don't know how many assists he's got this season, if any, but this month. But he played
none according to Transfer Market. I was surprised at that though.
Yeah. But he's deserved it. He played so well. He's like we said. I can't remember which one of you said it is. On his day, he's looking like one of the best midfielders in the league, and he's showing it, getting played at month.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to transfer market, and I haven't rewatched the goals to confirm, but 2 against Stoke, 1 against Middlesbrough goals wise, an assist against Derby, which will obviously been in February, and obviously scored last week against Cardiff.
January, I mean.
No, Derby. The second Derby game was in February.
January.
Yeah. He is certainly in the form of his Rotherham career, Mick, and there's certainly an argument to be had based on where he's played that he's probably in the form of his life.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. And it depends very much, I think, on what happens to us this season as to whether we keep him for next year or whether we cash in. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, he's been fabulous. He's been absolutely fabulous. And as Ben said a number of times there, after the year that he had last year, psychologically it must be very, very difficult to pull yourself back up. But it looks like he's using it as a motivation rather than sort of I don't know what the right word is, not sulking about it, you know what I mean, just sort of allowing it to affect him. So yeah. So yeah, it's a great achievement for him, and I am so pleased. Couldn't have happened to a nicer bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at his he's done obviously lots of interviews recently because of the form he's been in, and every single one he comes across fantastic. Yeah, a really clear, very intelligent guy who cares about not only football but obviously things outside of football as well. And in terms of his career as well, I mean, Mick, you've talked to Bumble about him. He obviously played very well for Accrington. He went up to Scotland, and it didn't work. And it would have been very easy to go to somewhere like Rangers, which are a massive club. We always say the league itself might be Mickey Mouse, but Rangers are a huge club. And for it not to work, and his career could have gone elsewhere, couldn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Bumble's quite scathing about Rangers and the way that they essentially stole him from Stanley, from Accrington. Him and Josh Windass went together. But yeah, I mean, they love him at Accrington. That he was a big player for them, and as has been said, one of their best players at the time he was there. He is a bit unorthodox, isn't he? He's a bit unusual in terms of his style of play. However, isn't he effective? And he's been marvellous. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad he's back in England. I'm glad he's back playing at a level higher than he would have been playing had he stayed in Scotland. And he deserves to be playing at this level. And arguably, he could be playing at a higher level. But that time will tell him that, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know how you feel, Ben, but for me, no matter what happens at the end of this season, we'll do very, very well to keep hold of him for next year, no matter what league we're in.
Yeah, but he's not, I think he's 24, 25, isn't he? He's
not older than that now. 27. So technically in his prime or not far off his prime.
I'd let him go. I wouldn't let him go, but I'd
put money.
Take the right offer. You know what I mean? If West Brom, or no, not West Brom. If someone like a small club or Norwich come in again with 3 million, but with a stupid, add-on clause or whatever, sell-on fee or whatever.
3 million quid for Matt Crooks?
I don't know, 3-4 million. Look who we've sold in the past. Look who we've sold in the past for money. 3 million for a club like us is, in this time, like times like this, is good as all, and we brought him in for peanuts. You know what I mean?
I've just set myself a task for the next episode to justify why I think he's worth £7 or £8 million.
I mean,
you look at he's done what we in February, and we've only just played half the season, and he's now on seven goals for the season plus 2 assists.
Yeah, if he gets to 15 goals, he'll be worth 20-30 million, in my opinion. But
that's a big jump from 3 million to 30.
Yeah, if he was but listen to me. If he was at Norwich, he'd go for 20 million or go for 20-30 million. But even if he gets 20 goals this season, for us, he'll go 5-6 max. Because of the club we are. Clubs won't pay, little Rotherham 20 million. Who's going to pay Rotherham 20 million? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What I mean, 7 or 8. For me, it's on course to get at least 10 goals for the season in the Championship. Bear in mind, he's not played every single game because he had a poor start to the season by his own admission.
Yeah.
That's 7 or 8 million quid right there. He's got at least another year in his contract, potentially an extension clause, which knowing Rotherham United, there's a good chance he's got an extension clause in his contract.
Yeah.
So let's say, for argument's sake, he's got 2 more years left in his contract. And to me, let's be honest, it doesn't matter whether we stay up or not. If he's got 10 plus goals for the season, he's done his job for the team.
Yeah.
Why would you, if you were a club, not be like thinking, right, if we want to push on the playoffs, let's say Middlesbrough, really good example, because they're a Neil Warnock team. They might not have the money they used to. A Matt Crooks type player is invaluable.
I agree. I think he is worth 8 million, but I don't think we'll sell him for that because of the club we are. And I know it's like, I don't know. It's just different. Like Ajayi, he's worth 20-30 million. He was worth 20-30 million when he left, in my opinion. He's one of the best players I've ever seen at this club. I know I'm young. He should be playing, but he will play in the Premier League. He could be playing for Arsenal right now. I'd put him in that starting 11 over David Luiz. David Luiz, you know what I mean? I'm better than David Luiz. I know he's experienced and that. Put me against him, I could turn him and bury it. You know what I mean? Nah, but I think I could challenge for someone like David Luiz Ajayi, and look at the money we got for him. It was 2 million. Do you know what I mean? So I think he probably is worth a lot more, but be interesting. I think if we go down, he's going to be worth a little less. We're saying for
only a bit though.
Only a little bit. But if we stay up and selling, and say, you know what, well, why should we sell him to you? Do you know what I mean? If we go down and he wants to leave, which he should, it's respectable. I would have no grudges against him for wanting to leave. I think he'll be worth a bit more, and we'll get a bit more if he's staying in this league.
Yeah, because we will, because we'll be able to demand a bit more.
Yeah, that's what
the bottom line is that players like Matt Crooks, like Michael Smith, like Jamie Lindsay, like Ben Wiles, these players are the future of our club, not necessarily as players, but as assets. These are all players. Looking at today's transfer market and the position that we're in the league, these are all players that are probably individually more valuable than just about the total squad value for the last, I don't know, however many 10 years or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this is what Paul Warne and his team are looking to do. They're looking to bring players in. They're looking to turn them into championship players, and essentially, mercenary as it might seem, turn that into money for the club.
It's what Brentford did, isn't it? Because Brentford was in League One a few years ago when we came up with them, didn't we? Basically, was exactly what they did, isn't it? And
Absolutely. Yeah. So
we'll have to see for peanuts, didn't he? Look at the players we're bringing in. Like players you just mentioned, we brought them all in for peanuts.
Yeah.
Wiles is born and bred Rotherham. Roma, as Beckham likes to say.
Is that where he's from?
Yeah. But yeah, that's just this is chat for another episode. But you've got people like, if we go down, who are we going to lose? Who are we going to keep? That's a conversation for another day, because
we ain't going down. Don't worry about it.
Or even if we stay up, who we're going to lose, who we're going to keep, even if we stay up. On to today's results. It's not a perfect day, Ben, but it's not far off. Josh Smith says it's gone really well for us today, apart from Derby winning. Wycombe beating Huddersfield, dragged Huddersfield into the battle. Stay up. Huddersfield dropping like a stone. It's just almost as good as we could have wished, Ben.
Yeah, apart from Derby winning, like Thingy said.
Yeah.
We're not in relegation zone, which is mentally good. I don't think it makes a difference in the long term with the amount of games in, but it's just that, you know, that over in the relegation zone. It's just that little bit of pressure. I think it's gone well. I think this could help us because we've always had games in hand, and when we lost that one to Cardiff, we basically gained one because a lot of teams have lost or drawn or whatever. So we basically got that back, which is like a sort of a lifeline type situation. So I think it's good, yeah. Yeah,
we obviously prefer to have points on the board, but like I said, we're not in relegation, so
I think
that's good by me, mate.
I think I think games in hand mentally, that when you're down there is sometimes more valuable than points on board. It's just pressure in it, and teams down there will buckle because they're down there for a reason.
And I think it suits us because let's say, for example, we get to the second. We obviously play Cardiff last game of the season. If we have a game on that Tuesday night prior to that, knowing that a win keeps us up, and the other team are not playing, I don't care what anybody says. That's an advantage.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, ultimately, we want 50 points on board, don't we? We've got 21 to go, and that's what we've got to look at the moment. Nothing more. Yeah. Try not to really pay too much attention to what's happening around us. We just need to get to that 50 points mark or as close as we possibly can, and then we can start to look at what's happening around us. 50 points, I think, will keep us up this season. I think there's too many teams in this division, and probably not the ones that have been down there all season. The likes of us, Derby, Forest, I don't think probably any of us will be down there fighting for those places. Or fighting to get out of them. I genuinely don't.
We said that in October, didn't we? About Forest and Derby, that they were down there, but by coming to season, I don't think they will. They've both stayed down there much longer than I thought they would do.
Yeah, Derby have got the obvious problems that we've discussed before, haven't they? Forest, I'm not entirely sure what their issue has been. They did have financial issues, but they still managed to sign that lad from Brighton and pay his wages. So they obviously ain't got that many financial issues, or they're very good at hiding them for the time being. Who knows? So, but either way, yeah, I think we're going to be all right. We're going to be fine. Don't worry about it.
I hope so. Anything else you want to quickly mention before we wrap this up? Because we've gone on about 15 minutes longer than I thought we would.
Nothing from me.
Nice.
Superb. So thanks all for watching and getting involved and everything else. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Closing in on 125 subscribers on there. So if you can do that, that would be amazing. I will be back on Monday for what will now only be a preview of Bournemouth. We will be looking at doing, just working out the details of a watch-along for Wednesday's game, Corporate State kickoff against Bournemouth. It's obviously on Sky Sports. So if you don't want to listen to Sky Sports commentary,
why would
we are going to try and do a different one. We'll see how that goes between now and then.
One thing I would say is I will be there for the first half, but I might have to leave for the second half. I might be there for the first half. I don't know what commitments I've got yet. And when I say commitments, I don't mean sleep. But for the second half, it will be sleep. But first half, I might have to be there.
Okay. Whatever, Ben.
So no, apparently a few messages saying where was our last one. So that's where I was. I had some commitments.
Not bed.
I was in bed. I was in bed, but because I had commitments up until 10 minutes before.
Okay. Cool. Thank you all. We will see you all for the next episode. Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Mick. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, very well.
Pringle looking towards Odegaard. Ravel.